Got my first real six string, bought it at the 5 and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, when I look back now, the summer seemed to last forever. And if I had
Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Yes, we survived a weekend on the sun.
It was so hot.
Oh my gosh, it was so hot this weekend. And we went to a party on Saturday night, and it was an evening party, but it was outdoors. And thank goodness the person who was holding the party was my brother. Put up these misters underneath his patio cover. Oh my gosh! Now we were soaked, but we didn't care. It felt really great.
Yeah, that brought the temperature down quite a bit.
Quite a bit, because it was stinking hot this weekend.
We went to a couple movies. I went
to one movie.
You went to one
Let's
movie
talk
with
about
me.
the one we went to together.
Yes. So we went and saw the movie Tag, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You laughed until you cried.
I did. And I didn't really want to see the movie. I haven't gone to a movie theater in probably 8 months.
Yeah.
And maybe longer, maybe last summer. And because it's really, we have all these channels at home. I say channels, we have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. And, so we watch movies. It's just we watch them at home. And it was just hot, and Tobin's like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's go. And I so enjoyed the movie.
So I've been wanting to see that movie, and part of what intrigued me about it was the fact that it was based on a real story. And at the end, they show little clips from the real guys that actually were the ones who did this.
So what's the premise of the movie?
They played a game of tag that's, I think, now been going on for 35 years, these guys. In the movie, it was 30. And, they're grown men. Right, and the idea was that you don't die, you don't stop playing when you. How's it?
You don't stop playing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop playing.
That's right, and I love that quote, and it really sort of captures the spirit of these guys, and that they're, and the real guys, and the ones in the movie, they tag each other in the weirdest locations, and they, as they get older, their mobility gets worse, and so they have to be more stealthy and really planning and thinking these things through, right? And
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So the whole premise of the movie is that one of the and there's some great actors in this. One of the main characters, played by John Hamm.
Yes.
Is that his name, John Hamm?
Yes.
He's being interviewed by the Wall Street Journal. He's a CEO of a company, and he's all full of himself. And his friend comes in dressed as a janitor and tags him
while he's being
interviewed. And the Wall Street Journal reporter's like, "What the heck what was that?" And she ends up going with them because during 1 month a year they play this game, and so she goes with them to Washington, the state of Washington, where they're all from. And anyway, hilarity ensues.
Yes.
And they actually end the movie with you see the front page, I think it was the front page of the Wall Street Journal, with this a picture, a composite picture of all of these guys. Or a group picture of all of these guys who play this game.
Yes, and that's actually how the story got started, is that Wall Street Journal was doing an article on one of the guys and found out about this, and it just became a thing. That became the article.
It is a delightful movie. Now I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got 55%, and I don't know why. I seriously laughed through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous and fun, and the fact that it's actually, obviously they took lots of creative license, but that these grown men have been playing this game for 35 years is hilarious.
Well, it's almost out of the theater. So if you want to see it in that big screen environment, and honestly, when it's super hot out, that's like my favorite thing to do. Just go sit in a movie theater.
Yeah, I was actually cold in the theater.
Yeah, and but it's almost out of the theater, and so if you want to catch it now, go do it. It's great. And it really will make you laugh. And they just really came up with some very interesting characters. The actors did a phenomenal job.
So John Hamm is in it. Ed Helms, Little Ray Howery, Isla Fisher, a bunch of Jeremy Renner, Leslie Bibb, Rashida Jones. It's a really, really funny movie.
Now, the Jeremy Renner character, I heard this after the fact. Apparently, he had broken his arm right as they were starting filming. And so they actually put him in a green cast, and they CGI'd his arm in because he had to do a whole bunch of action scenes in the movie. And so they, in order to make it work, they CGI'd his arm, which I think is amazing. He's phenomenal.
So I'm looking up Jeremy Renner, and I didn't know where he was from. He's from Modesto.
Really?
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
You know,
People from Modesto become famous? Wow.
Well, no, it's just that it's not a small town, but it's a small city, inland California, kind of like a San Bernardino kind of place. Yes. And, anyway, he's from Modesto. So, yeah, it was a good movie. What was the other movie that you saw?
The other one that I saw was it the Jurassic movie? No.
Yeah, didn't you go see that one?
I did see that one, but I don't think that was the one I saw this weekend. Now I'm just blanking on the other movie I saw. You put me on the spot.
Well, you're the one who said you went to see 2 movies.
I did.
Incredibles?
Oh, no, it was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And that was great, too. I love that movie. It was so fun. It's so different from the other Marvel movies, and it's just so funny.
Isn't Ant-Man, like, firmly tongue-in-cheek?
Yes. Totally played for the comedy aspects, and it's much more family-friendly, I mean, some of the other ones, because of the action, the violence, it's, you may say it's more of a PG-13. This is more like a G-rated movie. I mean, it still has some of the action, the fight scenes, but you don't get that sense of dread that you have, like... This
like something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, this is one that you'd feel very comfortable with your little kid at and laughing with and having fun with. So
when you say little, like 10?
Yeah.
So I have to, before we go to break, we have our very own Mark Westwood, who's the general manager here at KCAA, is famous in Yucaipa now.
Yes, he is.
He was on in the paper in Yucaipa what is that newspaper in Yucaipa? The News Mirror. As Yucaipa's only radio station owner, he owns KQLH, which is a really good station. Mark has terrific taste in music, and so does his morning voice, morning personality, Rick Rule, which is not a cool DJ name, Rick Rule.
Right.
And Mark gives him creative freedom. So at 6:15 a.m. last Thursday, Mark Westwood trekked up a steep mountain outside of Yucaipa in unincorporated San Bernardino County to fix a radio transmitter. Apparently, the power went out. You don't do that if you don't love radio, Westwood said. He's been working with transmitters and microphones and mixing boards for 33 years and currently serves as a GM for KCAA. Of course, that's this station. He said he's always been curious about radio, about the equipment, the red light, everything. However, Westwood's early mountain hike for his most recent passion project, the establishment of KQLH, Yucaipa's new nonprofit independent radio station. So you got to go out. You got to check it out. KQLH is a great radio station. I'm looking for the number. It's like 92.5 or
92.5. That's
there
what
you go.
It is.
92.5. So you got to check it out. It's oldies music, and it's but we are now oldies, Tobin. We're not oldies. We're middle ages. But it's 80s, it's 70s, it's 60s. It's all really good stuff.
Yes.
It's a good station. So it features programs covering local news, entertainment, and music history as well. And it's nonprofit, community-focused, and deeply connected to the Yucaipa area, and that's where Mark lives. So congratulations to Mark. Yay!
Yay!
So with that, let's take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we will be right back. Summer's here, but the folks at Children's Fund are already preparing for the next school year by collecting backpacks and school supplies for thousands of children in need in San Bernardino County. Imagine starting school without the basic tools you need to succeed. Now through July 13th, Children's Fund is accepting donations, and it's super easy. You can even buy online. For more information, please call 909-379-0000 or go to childrensfund.org/backpacks. That's childrensfund.org/backpacks.
Hey Ryan, do you have any beer in the fridge?
Nah, I thought you got some.
The game starts in 5 minutes.
And you drank the last beer at midnight on Friday.
I wish there was a place that delivered beer.
Yes, I'm Captain Crafted. I'm here to bring you beer. That's Captain, C-R-A-F-T''D. Why? Because there's no E, just a D, as in deliver, because Captain Crafted delivers.
That's right. The Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business with great prices and deliveries of your favorite beer, wine, spirits, water, ice, and mixers. Did I mention their great prices? That's CRAFTDBEER store.com or Fred Crafted Beer Store on Facebook.com. Make it easy. Google Redlands Beer Delivery. Look for Crafted Beer.
Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business, and I'm here to deliver.
Why are you listening to this radio station? Why? When you can host your own radio show. You're listening and you think you can do better? You have a message or a product you want everyone to know about. Host your own radio show. Team up with the area's best radio professionals and let them make you sound like you should be on NBC. KCAA NBC Radio, that is. KCAA produces more than 50 local programs each week on subjects ranging from business and sports to political talk, vegan diets, or even marijuana-related issues. We don't just broadcast on the radio, we broadcast to the world. Online, on TV, on social media, on Facebook. You'll be all over. Imagine what your friends will say. And KCAA reaches over 5 million people on 3 radio stations. Join the staff on 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM. NBC Radio. Jump on the KCAA Express. Call 909-793-1065. That's 909-793-1065 and get ready to transmit.
Whether you swing a hickory shaft Massey Niblick or the latest titanium hybrid, golf is your game, and the Boy Scouts need you. To be specific, the California Inland Empire Council of the Boy Scouts of America need your help in joining them for their 10th annual Golf Classic at Los Sureños Golf Club in Chino Hills on Friday, August 10th. A continental breakfast and a lunch are included, and we tee off at 7:45 a.m. Proceeds will help to offer young people responsible fun and adventure.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Again, so glad to have you with us on this Monday morning. I want to remind everyone all the ways they can listen to the show. We haven't done that in a while. We are on iHeart.com. You go to iHeart.com and search for On the Brink, and you will find us. And you can find all of our podcasts. You can listen to KCAA Live as well on iHeart. And you can find us at KCAAradio.com. There's 3 places. I just mentioned those 3 spots on the dial, 2 FM, 1 AM. And you can also find us on social media. If you want to interact with us on social media, Tobin is Tobin Brinker on Facebook. I am Erin Hunt Brinker on Facebook. And we love to hear from you. We love to engage with you. I will tell you that we encourage you to engage on our Facebook pages, but be nice.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Erin and I are on social media, but a lot of people appear to be on anti-social media. And don't be antisocial on social media. Don't attack people. Don't call them names. Don't be abusive. Be friendly.
Do you know there's a body? I know you're just seeing a screen and you're reacting to that, but there is a body on the other end of that screen with fingers that are typing, just like you are.
Yes, and they probably have emotions and thoughts and feelings that you may not always agree with, but, they're human beings, so let's treat them as such.
In other words, don't be a jerk.
Right?
No jerks allowed. And we'll generally warn you if you're being a jerk to, tone it down, and then we'll block you.
Yeah.
So be nice. Be nice. So, Tobin, do you have an update on the soccer players?
I do not. I keep seeing different numbers, and I'm not sure, which ones are right, how many they've got out.
So last night it was 4.
Last night was 4. I've seen 6 this morning, but I'm not sure if they've gotten more since then. So, I'd be interested to know.
Have you seen the drawings of what this tunnel looks like? I mean, it's unbelievable how far back these boys are.
Yes. So the latest number I'm seeing is now 8.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, divers free 8 from the flooded Thai cave.
And they're what, 13 down there?
Yeah. This is just one of those stories that's kind of riveting because,
Because they're children.
Yeah, and they were missing for so long.
It's
so
12
to find them.
So they've got 3/4 of them out. So 12 boys. So 8 of 12 boys have been rescued from the Thai caves. 4 boys and their soccer coach remain in the cave. Why did they keep going into that cave?
Well, I believe the understanding is that as they got in there, then the rain started to come and they couldn't get back out. And so because of the way the waters were rising, they had to kind of keep moving forward to get to higher ground.
Otherwise, they'd drown.
Yeah. And so that's what put them so deep in there. But still, the whole thing is quite scary. But the fact that they were found alive after being in there for what was it, 8 days,
Yeah. So apparently, parents are not being told which kids have been rescued. According to CNN, CNN is reporting that obviously parents are distraught and they're not being told which children among those which children have been rescued. 4 of the boys were pulled out of the cave in northern Thailand late Sunday night and are recovering from their ordeal in a newly converted isolation ward at a nearby hospital. But they have yet to see their parents. 4 more boys were carried out of the cave on stretchers. Oh my gosh! If I were one of those parents, I'd be going ballistic.
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure they just don't want to create any panic from the families of the boys that are still in there because they're trying to bring everybody out alive and well, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of understand that, but as a parent, I'd be losing my mind.
Well, this is a multi-agency relief effort, and there's so much that's going into this. My understanding is this is a very difficult dive for experienced divers. We actually saw
they lost a SEAL.
The former Thai Navy SEAL died last week. And so I think there's a lot of concerns, and I get it. I get why they're kind of trying to keep this under wraps until they've got it all done, because the last thing you need to deal with is the addition of hysteria from families.
Right. You just want to work calmly and swiftly to get these boys out because they've been underground for a while.
Yeah.
So, we'll keep watching this story as everybody is continuing to watch this story. So there's a new sheriff in town in the nation of Mexico.
Really?
Yes. And he's got some pretty weird ideas about things. He's saying he wants hugs, not bullets. That's his plan to stop the cartels. Now, the cartels are people who leave severed heads in the desert, but,
Yes.
A hug is going to make all the difference in the world.
Well, I don't think he understands the actual quote. It's hugs, not drugs, not hugs, not bullets.
Yeah,
And
on Friday, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, which is more commonly known as AMLO, Mexico's newly elected president, revealed his new plan to combat Mexico's drug war, which includes legalizing drugs, instituting gun control, and reducing punishment for criminals. Reducing punishment for criminals.
That's the left's operandum.
Yes,
what they do.
That's what they do. Again, these criminals are people who, how many presidential candidates were slaughtered? There was more than 100 of them that were killed, right?
Well, not just presidential candidates, but people running
for office in general.
So mayors and
city council
people,
and all of that.
All that, yeah.
And these are people who leave severed heads in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Olga Sanchez, Lopez Obrador's proposed interior minister, told Reuters about the new administration's transitional justice, quote unquote, plan to stop Mexico's deadly drug cartels, which involves leniency for those who admit guilt, truth commissions to investigate atrocities, and the granting of reparations for some victims. Okay, nobody is going to admit guilt. Nobody is going to go against the cartels because they don't want their head to be one of those in the desert.
Yeah.
Not only will it be amnesty, it will be a law to reduce jail time, Sanchez told Reuters. We will propose decriminalization, create truth commissions, and we will attack the causes of poverty. We'll give scholarships to the youth, and we'll work in the field to get them out of the drug situation. Abrazos no balazos, I know I'm pronouncing that way wrong, or Hugs Not Bullets was a campaign slogan championed by Lopez Obrador during his presidential run. Reuters notes that Alfonso Durazo, Lopez Obrador's proposed security minister, has said the administration's going to remove a significant part of Mexico's military from the streets, and they will implement more stringent protocols to stop guns from entering the country. Lopez Obrador's plan, which has drawn intense criticism, comes after he recently announced that he does not intend to use armed security guards to protect him because he believes the people will protect him. But they don't have guns because you will have taken them away. The only people who will have guns are the cartels.
The criminals. So, one of the 5 main planks of this guy's campaign was going after the drug lords and really dramatically shifting the way the country dealt with its drug policies. And it's fascinating. He won the campaign by a large margin. And I think people's attitude was, well, let's just try something different, right? Because everyone else has been saying the same.
Because this is not working.
Yeah, everyone else has been saying the same thing, right? We're just going to go after them. We're going to be strong, and it didn't work. So this guy's saying, well, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to be easier. We're going to be, friendly, and we're going to work to try to help the people that are at the bottom, to get their lives in order so they don't have to work for the.
Do you know how you help the people at the bottom? You get rid of corruption at the top.
Yeah.
So unless, they can do that, which...
Well, that was another one of his big plans.
Well, we'll see. Because how many Mexican presidents, when they were running for office, said they were going to get rid of corruption? All of them. Yeah. How many did it? None of them.
Yeah.
So I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
And by the way, this article is from the Daily Wire. Go to dailywire.com if you want to read the whole thing. But yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And as far as disarming the citizens, you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
How are they supposed to defend themselves?
Yeah. Well, a lot of what we're hearing here, it sounds very similar to when Hugo Chavez took over.
It does, indeed. Well, and this guy's a leftist populist.
Yeah. So it's
And it worked out so well for Venezuela. They are a shining beacon on a hill.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Take it back.
Oh, this is what drives me crazy. Mexico is a beautiful country with thousands of miles of beautiful coastline. It's got oil and lots of other natural resources, but the government hasn't been able to keep the country prosperous.
No, and it's because of the things you mentioned. It's because of the corruption. It's because of the violence. They need to re-examine sort of the cultural aspects of that and what's driving that.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. And we will be, when we pause that music, we will be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. The suspense ends at 9 Eastern tonight when President Trump announces his nominee for the Supreme Court. 4 people said to be on the president's shortlist.
A source with first-hand knowledge of the selection process telling NBC News the president's greatest focus is on appeals court judges Brett Kavanaugh of Washington, D.C. and Thomas Hardiman of Pennsylvania.
NBC's Peter Alexander reports that source says the president hasn't ruled out any of the final contenders. A 5th boy is now said to have been rescued from a flooded cave in Thailand. Divers rescued 4 boys yesterday, more than 2 weeks after 12 members of a soccer team and their coach got trapped in the popular cave complex. A bookstore owner says he called police after a woman wouldn't stop harassing former White House advisor Steve Bannon. Black Swan Books owner Nick Cook told the Richmond Times-Dispatch Bannon was looking at books on Saturday when a woman approached and called him a piece of trash. Lisa Carter, NBC News Radio.
The rosters for the 89th annual Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Washington, D.C. are out. The Astros, Red Sox, Indians tie for the lead with 5 All-Stars each. The Yankees and Braves with 4 apiece. The Midsummer Classic set for next Tuesday in D.C. Angels outfielder Mike Trout says it never gets old.
The fans vote you in. It's a special, 2 days.
Trout's Angels edged the Dodgers 4-3 in Anaheim last night after a Shohei Ohtani pinch hit home run in the 7th inning. Yasiel Puig went yard for the Dodgers, but left in the 5th inning with an oblique strain. Rick Porcello tossing 7 innings of 3-run ball. He scores his 11th win on the season. Red Sox edged the Royals 7-4 in Kansas City for their 6th straight win. Yankees edged the Blue Jays 2-1 in Toronto in 10 innings to keep pace in the AL East. The Pinstripes now 2 back of Boston in the division. In the NL, it took 16 innings for the Padres to get a 4-3 win over the Diamondbacks. That's sports. Jake Orwin, NBC News Radio.
It's time for traffic on KCAA. I'm Erin Brinker. In Colton on the 10 eastbound at Mount Vernon, a car fire is partially blocking the off-ramp, and the CHP is now on the scene. In the Cajon Pass on the 15 northbound before Oak Hill Road, a stall is in the center divider. In Temecula on the 15 southbound between Rancho California Front Street and the 79 South Temecula Parkway, there's slow traffic. In Paris on the 215 northbound after the Ramona Expressway, a stalled car is in the center divider. This has been your traffic report on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Alvin Washington. Partly sunny, scorching hot this morning, 101 the high. Partly cloudy, very warm tonight, low 73. Slight chance of storms with partly sunny and hot Tuesday, high 98. I'm Alvin Washington, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA, 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and The Legacy, 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
Need more restful nights? Manage an overactive mind and promote deep sleep with Quantum Nutrition Lab's Melatonin PG and Quantum Sleep. Buy 2, get the third one free. Call 888-588-7578 or visit us online at qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family.
Drivers, when it's time to visit the DMV, avoid the long lines and save time by calling toll-free 833-DMV-LINE. That's 833-DMV-5463.
KCAA.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. So glad to have you with us. I know I said that before, but I'm still glad to have you with us this morning. There is a kind of a disturbing story about a breastfeeding international resolution and the United States' role in its passage.
Yeah, I've seen this, and boy, has it got some folks upset.
It really does. A World Health Assembly meeting had been expected to easily pass a resolution promoting breastfeeding. It turned ugly when the Trump administration got involved, and this is according to the New York Times. They citing more than a dozen participants from several countries. The sources say that the American delegation to the UN-affiliated meeting in Geneva this spring fought hard for the interests of baby formula manufacturers and demanded that a resolution urging governments to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding as the healthiest option for babies be watered down. Ecuador, which introduced the resolution, was told it would lose American military aid and trade deals, according to sources. Now that's that's hardball. The American delegation also strongly opposed language in the resolution warning parents to watch out for inaccurate marketing from formula companies. Smaller countries backed away from the resolution under U.S. pressure, but it eventually passed with most of the original language intact after Russia supported it. A Russian source tells The Times they decided to introduce the resolution because smaller nations were being bullied. Advocates called the U.S. moves appalling in light of countless studies showing that breastfeeding offers clear health benefits. What happened was tantamount to blackmail, with the U.S. holding the world hostage and trying to overturn nearly 40 years of consensus on the best way to protect infant and young child health. And I have to say, breastfeeding is best. Now, there are situations where breastfeeding is either inadequate or impossible. Sometimes, and I've known women who've just had a hard time producing milk for whatever reason, and if they hadn't supplemented with formula or switched to formula, the baby would have starved.
Yeah.
But for most people, breastfeeding is the most natural, the best way to protect your baby and to feed your baby.
I always find these kind of stories fascinating to me because, first off, whether the United Nations passed this resolution or not, it really isn't going to change behavior around the world significantly. This is not, they don't have the power to force people to do breastfeeding versus, using...
No, it has no teeth, really.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. And so why would the United States go to the mat on something like this and play this kind of hardball politics game over something that is essentially what? Meaningless?
Yeah.
And what does it do? It weakens our position in the world. It makes us look like bullies, and it creates openings for other countries like Russia and China to step in and fill the vacuum of United States leadership, and so this is the kind of dumb politics that drives me crazy.
Well, and I wonder, of course, the skeptic in me is like, okay, was it really as bad as they're saying it is? I don't know. I agree with you. Why spend political capital on this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So this is the kind of thing though that it kind of drives me insane. And you raise a legitimate question. I mean, what if it really wasn't? If this story isn't exactly true? If it wasn't quite that hardball? It was just a negotiation, and somebody's spinning it that way to make America look bad. Well, it's working because the story's out there.
And it makes America look bad.
And I'm sure stories like this are all over the globe, all the time. But this is the kind of stuff, again, it just drives me insane.
So this is, it's indicative of Trump's negotiating style, however.
Yeah, it is.
Because he goes out there with all the bombast and all the, we're going to, guns blazing, we're going to get our way or the highway, like the worst possible scenario for whoever's sitting on the other side of the table.
Yes.
And then they come back to a more reasonable solution.
Yeah.
And he's proven this because, it sounded like for a while he was going to take us to war with North Korea, and of course that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I just, on this issue, I'm with you. Why in the world do that?
Yeah. So Trump, and I'll use Trump's wall as an example of how he's doing this. So he didn't get the wall through the normal means, right? He didn't get funding for it. Congress didn't do it, and so then what do? He rescinds the Obama's executive order for the DACA kids, right? And so the countdown begins that those kids are now going to have to be deported, right? And then the courts sort of shoot that down, so he can't do that, and so then he does this extreme detention policy, right? And families are getting separated, and people get upset about that. And he keeps amping things up, trying to put pressure on people so that they'll take action on immigration, with the end result being that he gets the money for the wall. And he really just wants to negotiate, right? But the reality is in order to get to the negotiation, he's willing to create a lot of pain for a lot of people to put the pressure to get where he wants it to be. But sadly, I think on the wall, they're not gonna bend.
Nope.
They're not gonna bend.
Nope. I don't think they are.
No.
And frankly, we don't have the money for it.
No, and they'll use the fact that he's creating all this pain to really make him look even worse and push his numbers down, because he looks pretty heartless. Because he's basically pretty heartless. He just wants what he wants.
He wants what he wants. So, okay, have you seen? There are videos all over YouTube, especially about people rescuing various wild animals and developing relationships with them, and aren't they so cute? And
yes.
all this sort of stuff. And there's lots of raccoon videos, mostly of raccoons eating, because they have opposable thumbs, so their little hands look like ours, and they're they're just cute.
And raccoons are cute little buggers. They
Yeah,
are.
but they're vermin. You have to
They are.
understand. Not that you should kill them, but understand what they are.
Yes.
A woman recently brought a cute baby raccoon into her Colorado home, causing an ugly situation. According to authorities in Weld County, the woman brought in the abandoned animal, which ended up testing positive for rabies. Subsequently, 21 people had to be preemptively treated for rabies exposure. Oops. Per the Greeley Tribune, 20 of those treated were potentially exposed after visiting the woman's home, hoping to catch a glimpse of the baby animal. Authorities became concerned after the woman reportedly contacted a shelter to ask if the animal could be rehabilitated. Weld County Department of Health Public Health and Environment then tested it for the deadly virus. The positive result meant the woman and all 20 of her friends who were eager to see the baby raccoon had to be treated. As Life Science notes, health officials said it was the largest rabies exposure case ever recorded in Weld County. The county released a statement on the incident, urging people to steer clear of wild animals, especially with an apparent heightened risk for contagion this season. This looks like a year for high rabies exposure in animals. It is very important that people do not touch or go near wild animals.
Wow.
They're wild animals, folks.
They are. They are. But I get the urge to want to, take in a cute animal like this. I mean, I get it. But come on, be smart. Right?
Yeah, it's funny. I happen to have, I kind of have on this bat kick. I really love bats.
Yes, you do.
Because bats eat mosquitoes. And I just love that. Eat all those mosquitoes that you want. But does that mean that I would go pick up a bat? Oh, heck no, they carry rabies.
Yeah.
And if what happens in the wild, it happens in the wild. And that's the way it is. I'm not going to touch one. I'm just going to admire them from afar. But you look on YouTube and stuff, and you see people that, they find a puma and they take it home.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing? That is a wild cat. And yes, it's cute. And yes, you're cuddling with it now, but they're unpredictable.
Yeah.
Have you been around the little cats? Imagine that one only big and could eat you.
Right.
And I love cats, and I love pumas. I think they're wonderful, beautiful, magnificent animals. But I
Yes.
don't want one in my house.
Yes. Now, you also found a story about spiders, and you know how I love my spiders. No, not really.
Not so much.
But a woman apparently was rushed to the ER because she had brown recluse spider bites, and then they actually discovered that there were dozens of them in her apartment.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine?
No.
So she woke up to an infestation of spiders in her bedroom, right?
Oh.
That's okay. Angela Wright of Brentwood, Tennessee, woke up with arm pain and a few bumps on her chest and arm. She didn't think much about the mysterious ailment, but she eventually visited a doctor's office and was given medication for the bumps, but it didn't help. In fact, she started feeling worse. She realized she needed to go to the ER when her chest was hurting. She had sharp chest pain. And when she was taken to the emergency room a few days later, after describing what she was feeling as hallucinating, brown recluse spider venom included a neurotoxic component known to cause chills, fever, and some rare cases even death. And the spider bites on Wright were shocking. And there's a picture of her here. She looks just like, oh my God, death warmed over. The bite formed 2 blood clots that went to her lungs. The second
which can be deadly.
Yeah, she was seconds away from a stroke. Wright notified the management company in charge of the Views of Brentwood complex where she lives that her home was crawling with spiders and she was bitten by them. I would find spiders everywhere when spring came. She emailed and called and said the apartment management only told them to put out they put me on her monthly spray list, but the spiders didn't go away. How okay. We've lived in an apartment type setting before. That's rough if they're not taking care of it, right? I
yes.
mean, wow. So now she's trying to move out of the infested apartment, but she said the management company won't break her lease. They said the only way that I could move is if I got someone to buy me out, which I won't. That's awful. They actually told me that they didn't believe me.
Okay, now she needs to sue.
Right?
Wow.
Right? And so her only option for the management company is to provide her is a 60-day notice, then vacate the apartment, which would require her to pay $2,200. Okay. And she has one of those like sticky traps, and it's got all those like dead spider carcasses in there, and you can totally see them, right? So I mean, it's fairly easy to show what's in there.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so disgusting.
Right?
Wow. Wow. And so, she's got medical bills from all of this.
Yes.
So a pulmonary embolism can be deadly.
Yes.
I think very often they are. So, good thing that she finally went to the ER. She says that her medical bills are being racked up. She owes at least $10,000 that she knows of, and chances are it'll be a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
She says that the spider bites will have long-term effects on her health. She says I'm now on blood thinners for the rest of my life. And she says she's experiencing sporadic pain in her chest while the clots dissolve. She said that the doctor even told her she shouldn't have kids because of the clots. She needs to sue the pants off of whoever owns that building.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that, hopefully somebody in her area is hearing this story, reading this story. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody steps up, some insect extermination company says, I'll come in and help you to clean it out. Because this is just wrong on so many levels, Wow. That is just... And I wonder what the other people who live there, this apartment complex, I wonder what they're experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you live in the same complex and you have little kids especially.
Right.
And there's, your neighbor has brown recluse spiders bites all over her.
Wow.
That's just, wow. All right, so let's take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We'll be right back.
Every day is a great day at KCAA Radio. July 9th is National Sugar Cookie Day. This sweet and delicious holiday honors the ever-popular and delicious sugar cookie. A holiday favorite and very easy to make, sugar cookies are sure to disappear quickly once they come out of the oven. Made with sugar, flour, butter, eggs, vanilla, and either baking powder or baking soda, most people have the ingredients on hand at all times and can have the kids help make a batch on any day. The fun just begins with cutting the dough with fun-shaped cookie cutters and then getting creative by decorating with icing and sprinkles. The sugar cookie is believed to have originated in the mid-1700s in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. It was there that the German Protestant settlers created the round, crumbly, and buttery cookie that came to be known as the Nazareth cookie. For KCAA NBC Radio, I'm Andrew Caravella, and this has been The More You Know.
This segment is sponsored by Tammy Sutherland of Coldwell Banker Kivett Teeters Realty, where she makes it her business to put happy people in happy homes. It's Tammy Sutherland's passion to list your house and put you in just the right house that you could call home.
She made so much extra effort to sell our house and make sure that we understood every step of the way. Tammy always had our best interests at heart.
I didn't think we'd ever find a house we loved, but with Tammy's help, we did. Now I get to mow the lawn every weekend. But then again, that's why we had kids. Hey, Tyler!
Tammy did way more than we ever expected in a real estate agent. Without Tammy, we would still be renting.
So if you want your perfect house, contact Tammy Sutherland at Coldwell Banker Kivett Teeters Realty in Yucaipa, across from Yucaipa High School. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, it's homesbytammy.net or on Facebook at facebook.com/Realtor Tammy Sutherland at 909-556-2094 for Realtor Tammy Sutherland, and we thank her for her support.
Here's Replete Vegan Skincare founder Elizabeth Thoreau.
Investing in your beauty is investing in quality of your life. The secret is in Replete Spring Serum Complex. It puts elasticity back in your jawline contour for completely remodeling the effects of winter. It improves firmness. It gets rid of sagging and wrinkles. And it puts the smoothness, radiance, and freshness you want in a spring day.
RepleteSkincare.com for your skin to look and feel its best.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Your time.
Welcome back. I'm Marion Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So a top San Bernardino County gang prosecutor, just stuck his foot in his mouth, and now he's under fire for some social media posts. The lead hardcore gang prosecutor in the San Bernardino County DA's office is under investigation for a series of offensive rants on social media. Now, we all stick our foot in our mouth at some point.
Yes.
Especially people who are essentially their job is doing what Tobin and I do. We're on the radio. We post like crazy. We're very public people. Eventually, you're going to say something stupid.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's a slip, right? If you're it's just an odds game. It's a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
If you're as loquacious as we are, eventually you're going to say something you regret. But this guy, what he did was completely beyond the pale. Deputy District Attorney Michael Salem, who joined the DA's office 12 years ago, targeted outspoken U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, former First Lady Michelle Obama, Mexican immigrants, and the victim of a police shooting in a Facebook and Instagram post labeled by one critic as hateful rhetoric. Of Waters, Salem said, quote, being a loudmouth C-word in the ghetto, you would think someone would have shot this bee by now.
Really?
Yes.
And he's a prosecutor.
Yes.
In the DA's office.
Yes. In an online argument with someone over the police shooting of a civilian, he also wrote, that S-bag got exactly what he deserved. You reap what you sow. And by the way, go F yourself, you liberal S-bag.
Wow.
It was unclear which police shooting he was referencing and whether or not it was an open case in San Bernardino County or had occurred elsewhere. He also posted a doctored picture of Michelle Obama holding a sign saying, Trump grabbed my male member.
Really?
Yes, because that's a conspiracy theory, right? I mean, what ugly thing you're going to hurl at her that she's actually a man because she's got broad shoulders, apparently. Because whoever came up with that has never seen a woman who swims the the butterfly.
Yeah.
Salem, a 50-year-old resident of Placentia, is the lead attorney in a unit tasked with cracking down on criminal gang activity that surged as members moved inland from L.A. County in search of more affordable housing. Many of those gangs are predominantly Latino. One of his posts showed a man in a giant sombrero with the words Mexican word of the day, hide.
So all of this stuff is offensive. But he's publishing this on his personal Facebook page.
It doesn't matter.
Well, hold on. And the question is, how does this affect his actual day job? And has he done something in his day job that would require this to have some sort of disciplinary action? And beyond just telling him, hey, knock it off, you can't say that kind of stuff. I mean, that's really the question, right?
But what he said was despicable.
Oh, no, I get it. I mean, it's horrible.
And if he really believes that stuff...
That's troll-like behavior. I hate people who talk like that online.
I agree with you, 100%. And for those of you, Tobin and I, we do this a lot. We take opposite points of view and we hash it out. Tobin does not actually agree with this guy. But, at some point, if you hold those beliefs that where you would think that that's appropriate behavior to use that language, I mean, this isn't insinuating. This isn't trying to draw a connection that really isn't there. This is, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that what is the appropriate response from his work? Is he going to be fired for this? Is this something that they should terminate you for saying these things? Or is this something where you just get reprimanded and they say, hey, don't do social media for a year, don't use that kind of language, and you get switched to like less profile cases or something that,
So but you think about it, if the people that he's prosecuting, clearly he's prosecuting some pretty awful human beings, right? Because he's prosecuting the gang units, and gangs aren't the nicest people in the world. It's
true.
So let's set that aside. The other part of it is that he's representing the people, and a lot of these gang members are youths. They're young people.
Yeah.
And, do they have, with this trend towards restorative justice, this trend towards rehabilitation, do his viewpoints then run counter counter to the movement, the trends in criminal justice? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if someone who's being prosecuted by him could argue that he should not be the prosecutor because he has biases and whatnot that would make him more likely to withhold evidence. I mean, of course, the question is you have to prove, right? Did he withhold evidence, or did he,
Well, and then that's a different issue.
Yeah.
That's, did he engage in criminal activity to railroad some people who...
based on his ideological beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very serious offense. And, I, from this article, it seems that there's absolutely no proof of that, but that somebody's going to be looking for it.
Yeah, and I guess that's where people try to make these connections. They try to say that your words are the same as an action, and they're not really, And so the question is, what is the appropriate remedy for this kind of behavior?
In a statement on Friday, outgoing District Attorney Mike Ramos said, "We've been made aware of the negative comments, and they do not represent the views of the District Attorney's office. Since this is a personnel matter, I cannot comment any further."
Yeah.
District Attorney spokesman Chris Lee would not say whether the office has an official policy on social media postings, or if not, whether it is now considering implementing such a policy.
I think about, we talked about a case, it's maybe a year or two ago, of a group of teachers where they chimed in after the Hispanic students had done a walkout.
Yes.
And made
that was a day without a Mexican or something,
yes.
I think is what it was called.
And one or two of them actually made comments, but a couple of them just pushed the like button and things like that. And the consequence was they all got suspended.
They were from Jurupa Valley.
Yes. And were out of work for a long period of time. And I don't remember if all of them got back or if some of them lost their job. But, and it was for much lower level than this guy's language. They weren't using curse words.
It was something like, the day was quiet today or whatever,
Yeah, but they were definitely expressing a political opinion that had racial context, and it got them in a lot of trouble. So I'm always fascinated when I see stuff like this because I think that sometimes we overreact, and I wish that we had a more clear set of standards of what you can or can't do. And and I worry sometimes because obviously here I am as a talking head on a radio station, but I'm also a public school teacher, and I worry sometimes that someone could take something I said out of context.
Right.
And
it's hard to take this out of context, though.
No, I know. I get it. I agree. This guy's. I can't believe he said that stuff. There's no way of spinning it to make it sound like, oh, that's not what he really meant.
No, I think he said exactly what he meant.
Yeah. The question is, though, what's the right response to that?
And this is, because the internet is still relatively new. We've had it for 20 years now, 25 years now, but it's really, social media has really only been around for the last 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we had MySpace before with which is really basically teenagers and musicians. Yeah. And though, but this pervasiveness of social media is a new phenomenon.
Well, there's a whole bunch of issues that we're dealing with. I mean, obviously freedom of speech is a big one, but people are learning fairly quickly here that freedom of speech doesn't mean you get to say anything, anywhere, anytime, and then secondly, the social mores of the area and your obligations to your job versus your private,
right.
Where's the line between your job and your private life?
But these are things that nobody would have said in public before. Nobody would have been.
Yeah.
There were rules of social decorum that wouldn't allow you to be that rude and awful and abusive.
Yeah.
In a public forum.
Yeah.
Now people of color would argue, and rightly so, that they were subject to that kind of abuse and nobody cared. It didn't matter to anybody.
Yeah.
Especially in certain areas of the country. But in more recent history, none of that was allowed, especially from a public official who's prosecuting these cases to act this way. Now,
yeah.
I think you should be able to express your political views, but you can't be abusive to people.
Yeah.
You can't be abusive to people. You just can't. It's wrong. Don't do it. So with that, we're at the end of our show for today. Have a great day, everybody. It's still going to be hot today, so stay hydrated. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll see you tomorrow.